This year we decided to do something a little bit different with fundraising, as I'm sure you guys saw out in the lobby. So what we did is we went to different businesses, we asked for donations, and we have had a really good turnout this year with businesses wanting to donate to these wonderful baskets. So we brought some wonderful people out here who were really beneficial in the fundraising. The fundraising, what you guys know what I'm talking about. So first, we're gonna read off a list of sponsors, and then after we're gonna give a nice clap. And then we're gonna tell you guys who actually won, okay? So, and good luck. So our many sponsors this year were Mosley Street Melodrama, The Spice Merchant, the Wichita Grand Opera, the Co-op Coffee House, Botanica, Crown Uptown, Derby Plaza Theaters, Freddy's, Hog Wild, Bittersweet, Good Fortune, Lorena Salon, Derby Nail Bar, Hallmark, the New Age Center, the Bellucci family, the Tanner family, the James family, the Thompson family, and the Payne family. Okay, so I think we're going to start with a holiday basket. So Becca is going to, shuffle them up. We're going to get it. This is the first one, we didn't practice.
This one.
I can't read it.
Oh, the number. Yeah. I don't know cursive.
The number?
I know the number.
The number is 0318145.
And the name appears to be maybe Margaret? Does anybody have that ticket? Oh, very good.
Hello.
Oh, she's going to check her numbers just to make sure.
It's like bingo.
It is. Okay. Okay, awesome. Congratulations. Okay. Yes. Trisha's got it. Okay, and so RD is going to do the hot drink basket.
And the winner is Kevin Rue.
Okay, Avery is going to do the date night basket. This was the big one. Pick a good one.
Sarah Favre.
Yeah! Congratulations. Parker is going to do the Spice Merchant basket.
And the winner is
I think that's Margaret R. again.
Yes.
It's Margaret R. again.
Congratulations. And Olivia has the self-care basket.
All right. There's this one on top that's not going down. Hang on.
It's the winner.
All right. The winner is Jenny Grantham.
Yay! So congratulations to all of our winners, and thank you guys so much for participating. We really appreciate everybody, and thanks for coming out. Enjoy the rest of the show.
making muffins. That looks like repentance.
They don't seem to notice us at all. When did you call? I have fun. They're looking at us. What effrontery.
They're approaching. That's bold of them.
Let us preserve a dignified silence.
Certainly. It's the only thing to do now.
I'm very good at integral and differential calculus. I know the scientific names of beings and of maculus. In short, matters, vegetables, animals, and minerals. I am very wrong about the modern major general.
This dignified silence seems to produce an unpleasant effect.
Most distasteful one.
But we shall not be the first to speak.
Certainly not.
Mr. Worthing, I have something very particular to say to you. Much depends on your reply.
Gwendolyn, your common sense is invaluable. Mr. Moncrief, please kindly answer me the following question. Why did you pretend to be my guardian's brother?
In order that I may have the opportunity of meeting you.
It's the most satisfactory answer.
Yes, dear, if you can believe him.
I don't. But that doesn't change the wonderful beauty of his answer.
True, in matters of great importance, style, not sincerity, is the vital thing. Mr. Worthing, what explanation can you offer to me for pretending to have a brother? Was it in order that you might have had an opportunity of coming up to town to see me as often as possible?
Can you doubt it, Miss Fairfax?
I have the greatest doubts upon the subject, but I intend to crush them. This is not the moment for German skepticism. Their answers appear to be quite satisfactory, especially Mr. Worthing's. That seems to me to have a stamp of truth upon it.
I'm more than content with what Mr. Moncrief said. His voice alone as far as one with absolute credulity.
And then you think we should forgive them?
Yes, I mean, no.
True. There are principles at stake that one cannot surrender. Which of us should tell them? The task is not a pleasant one.
Could we not both speak at the same time?
An excellent idea. I nearly always speak at the same time as other people. If you take the time from me,
Certainly.
your Christian names are still an insuperable barrier. That is all.
Our Christian names, is that all? But we are going to be christened this afternoon.
For my sake, you are prepared to do this terrible thing.
I am.
To please me, you ready to face this fearful ordeal?
I am.
How absurd to talk of the equality of the sexes. Where matters of self-sacrifice are concerned, men are infinitely beyond us.
We are.
There are moments of physical courage we would know absolutely nothing.
Darling,
Darling,
Oh! Lady Bracknell.
Good heavens.
Gwendolyn, what does this mean?
merely that I am engaged to Mr. Worthing, Mamma.
Come here. Sit down. Sit down immediately. Hesitation of any kind is a sign of mental decay in the young, of physical weakness in the old. Apprised, sir, by my daughter's sudden flight from her trusty maid, whose confidence I had purchased by means of small coin, I had followed her at once by a luggage train. Her unhappy father is, I am pleased to say, under the impression she is attending a more than usually lengthy lecture at the university. I do not propose to undeceive him, nor have I ever undeceived him on any questioning. I would consider it wrong. Of course, you must know that all communication between yourself and my daughter must cease immediately from this moment. On this point, as indeed on all points, I am firm.
I'm engaged to be married to Gwendolyn.
You are nothing of the kind, sir. And now as regards Algernon. Algernon,
Yes, and Augusta?
may I ask if it is in this house that your invalid friend, Mr. Bunbury, resides?
No, Bunbury doesn't live here. Bunbury is somewhere else at present. In fact, Bunbury is dead.
Dead? When did he die? His death must have been extremely sudden.
Bunbury? Oh, I killed this afternoon. I mean, Bunbury really died this afternoon.
Well, what did he die of?
Bunbury? Oh, he was quite exploded.
Exploded?
My dear Augusta, I mean, he was found out. The doctors found out he could not live. So Bunbury died. That is what I mean.
He seems to have had great confidence in the opinion of his physicians. I am glad, however, that he came at last to some sort of conclusion and acted under proper medical advice. And now that this Mr. Bunbury is gone, Mr. Worthing, may I ask who's the young person whose hand my nephew Algernon is now holding in what seems to me a thoroughly unnecessary manner?
That is Miss Cecily Cardew, my ward.
I'm engaged to be married to Cecily, Augusta.
I beg your pardon.
Mr. Moncrief and I are engaged to be married, Lady Bracknell.
I do not know if there is anything peculiarly exciting in the air of this particular part of Hertfordshire, but the number of engagements that go on here seem to me exceptionally above the proper average that statistics have laid down upon for our guidance. I think some preliminary inquiry on my part is not out of question. Mr. Worthing, may I ask if Miss Cardew has any connections with the larger railway stations in London? I merely desire information. Until yesterday, I had no idea that there were any persons or families whose origin was a terminus.
Miss Cardew is the granddaughter of the late Mr. Thomas Cardew of 149 Belgrave Square, SW, Gervasey Park, Dorking, Surrey, and was born Fisher in B.
That seems not unsatisfactory. 3 addresses always tend to spark confidence, even in tradesmen. But what proof have I of their authenticity?
I've carefully preserved the court guides and documents of the period, Lady Bracknell. They are open to your inspection.
I've known strange errors in that publication.
Miss Cardew's family solicitors are Messrs. Markby, Markby, and Markby.
Markby, and Markby. Indeed, a firm of the very highest position in their profession. I've even known of one of the Mr. Markbys to occasionally attend dinner parties. So far, I'm satisfied.
How generous of you, Lady Bracknell. I also have in my possession, you'll be pleased to hear, records of Miss Cardew's birth, baptism, whooping cough, registration, vaccination, confirmation, and the measles, both the German and English variety.
A life crowded with incident, I see. Though perhaps too exciting for a young girl. I myself am not in favor of premature experiences. Gwendolyn, the time approaches for our departure. We've not a moment to lose. I had better ask as a matter of form, Mr. Worthing, if your ward has any little fortune.
Oh, only about 130,000 pounds in the funds. That is all. Good day. So good to have seen you, Lady Bracknell.
A moment, Mr. Worthing. 130,000 pounds, and in the funds! Miss Cardew seems to me a most attractive young lady now that I look at her. Few girls of the present time have any real qualities that last and improve with time. We live, I regret to say, in an age of surfaces. Come here, child. Pretty child, your dress is sadly simple, and your hair seems as though nature may have left it. But we can soon alter all of that. A thoroughly experienced French maid can produce a really marvelous quality in a very brief space of time. I remember recommending one to a Lady Lansing, and after 3 months, her own husband did not know her.
And after 6 months, nobody knew her.
Kindly turn around, dear. No, the side view is what I want. Ah, just as I expected. There are distinct social possibilities in your profile. 2 weak points in our age are its want of principle and its want of profile. The chin a little higher, dear. Style largely depends on the way the chin is worn, and it is worn very high just at present. Algernon?
Yes, Augusta?
There are distinct social possibilities in Miss Cardew's profile.
Cecily's the most wonderful, beautiful girl in the whole world. And I don't care twopence on social possibilities.
Never speak disrespectfully of society, Algernon. Only those who can't get into it do that. Of course, dear, you must know that Algernon has nothing but his debts to depend upon. But I do not approve of mercenary marriages. Indeed, when I married Lord Bracknell, I had no fortune of any kind, but I did not allow that for a moment to step in my way. Well, I suppose I must give my consent.
Thank you, Aunt Augusta.
Cecily, you may kiss me.
Thank you, Lady Bracknell.
You may also address me as Aunt Augusta for the future.
Thank you, Aunt Augusta.
The marriage, I expect, had better take place quite soon.
Thank you, Aunt Augusta.
Thank you, Aunt Augusta.
If I must speak frankly to you, I do not approve of long engagements. They give the couple a chance to get to know each other better, which I think is never advisable.
Pray excuse me for interrupting Lady Bracknell, but this engagement is quite out of question. Cecily is my ward and cannot marry without my consent until she comes of age. That consent I absolutely decline to give.
Upon what grounds, may I ask? My nephew Algernon is an extremely, I may almost say ostentatiously eligible young man. He has nothing, but he looks everything. What more could one desire?
I hate to speak frankly to you about your nephew, Lady Bracknell, but I don't approve at all of his moral character. I suspect him of being untruthful.
Untruthful? My nephew Algernon? Impossible.
There can be no possible doubt about the matter. This afternoon, during my temporary absence in London, on an important quest for romance, he obtained admission to my house under the false pretense of being my brother. Under an assumed name, he drank, I've just been informed by my butler, an entire pint bottle of my Pré-Jouet Brew 89, one I was specially reserving for myself. Continuing his disgraceful deception, he succeeded in the afternoon in alienating the affections of my only ward. He subsequently stayed to tea and devoured every single muffin. And what makes his conduct all the more heartless is that he knew from the start that I don't have a brother. I've never had a brother, and no intent on ever having one in the future. I told him so myself distinctly yesterday afternoon.
Mr. Worthing, after careful consideration, I've decided to entirely overlook my nephew's conduct to you.
How generous of you, Lady Bracknell. My own decision on the matter, unalterable. I decline to give my consent.
Come here, dear child.
How old are you? 18, but I admit to 20 when I go to evening parties.
Indeed, there is nothing wrong with making some slight alteration of the age. In fact, most people do it nowadays. It's so calculating. 18, but admitting to 20 at evening parties. Well, it will not be long before you are of age and free from the restraints of tutelage. So I really don't think your guardian's consent is a matter of any importance.
Pray excuse me for interrupting you again, Lady Bracknell, but it's only fair to tell you that, according to the terms of Miss Cardew's grandfather's will, she does not legally come of age until she's 35.
That seems not unsatisfactory. Indeed, 35 is a very attractive age. Indeed, I've even known most women of the highest birth who have, on their own free will, remained 35 for years. I see no reason why our dear Cecily would not even still be more attractive at age 35 than she is at present. There would be a large accumulation of property.
Algie, could you wait for me till I was 35?
Cecily, you know I could.
Yes, it was instinctively, but I don't think I could wait that long. I hate waiting even 5 minutes for anybody. I'm not punctual myself, I know, but I do like punctuality in others. And even waiting to be married is quite out of the question.
Then what is to be done, Cecily?
I don't know, Mr. Moncrief.
Mr. Worthing, as Cecily states positively that she cannot wait till she is 35, a statement which I must say is somewhat impatient, but I must beg of you to reconsider your decision.
But the matter is entirely in your own hands, Lady Bracknell. The moment you consent to my marriage with Gwendolyn, I will most happily allow your nephew to form an alliance with my ward.
You must know that what you say is absolutely out of the question.
The passionate celibacy is all any of us can look forward to.
That is not a destiny I propose for Gwendolyn. Come, dear. The time is now for our departure. We've We've missed 5, if not 6 trains. To miss any more may allow us to comment on the platform.
I think it's quite ready for the christenings.
The christenings, sir? Is that not somewhat premature?
Both of these gentlemen have expressed an immediate desire for baptism.
At their age, the idea is grotesque and irreligious. Algernon, I will not hear of such excesses, and you are forbidden from being baptized. Lord Bracknell would be highly displeased if he learned that that was the way in which you had wasted your time and money.
Am I to understand that there will be no christenings this afternoon?
As things are now, Dr. Chasuble, I feel there'll be no value to either of us.
I'm grieved to hear such sentiments from you, Mr. Irving. They savor of the heretical views of the Anabaptists, views that I have completely refuted in 4 of my unpublished sermons. However, it seems to me your mood is one peculiarly secular. I'll return at once. Indeed, I have just been informed by the pew opener that Miss Prison has been waiting for me for an hour and a half in the vestry.
Miss Prism. Did I hear you mention a Miss Prism?
Yes, Lady Bracknell. I'm on my way to join her now.
Pray allow me to detain you for a moment. This matter may prove to be something of high importance for Lord Bracknell and myself. Is Miss Prism a female of repellent aspect, remotely connected with education?
She's the most cultivated of ladies in the very picture of respectability.
It is obviously the same person. May I ask what position she holds in your household, sir?
I am a celibate, madam.
Miss Prism has been, for the last 3 years, Miss Cardew's esteemed governess and valued companion.
Despite of what I hear of her, I must see her at once. Let her be sent for.
She approaches. She is nigh.
I was told you expected me in the vestry, dear Canon. I was waiting there for you for an hour and 3/4.
Prism! Come here, Prism. Prism? Where is that baby? 28 years ago, you left Lord Bracknell and I's house, number 104 Upper Grosvenor Street, in charge of a perambulator that contained a baby of the male sex. You never returned. A few weeks later, with the help of the Metropolitan Police, the perambulator was discovered at midnight in a remote corner of Bayswater. It contained the 3-volume novel of a manuscript of the most revolting sentimentality. But the baby was not there. Prism? Where is that baby?
Lady Bracknell, I admit with shame that I do not know. I only wish I did. The plain facts of the case are these. On the morning of the day you mentioned, a day that is forever branded on my memory, I prepared as usual to take the baby out of the perambulator. I had also with me a somewhat old but capacious handbag, which I intended to place the manuscript of a work of fiction I had written during my few unoccupied hours. Through a moment of mental abstraction, for which I can never forgive myself, I deposited the manuscript in the bassinet and placed the baby in the handbag.
But where did you deposit the handbag, Miss Prism?
Do not ask me, Mr. Worthing.
Miss Prism, this is a matter of no small importance to me. I insist on knowing where you placed the handbag that contained that infant.
I left it in the cloakroom of one of the larger railway stations in London.
What railway station?
Victoria, the Brighton line.
Gwendolyn, I must retire to my room for a moment. Wait for me here.
If you're not too long, I will wait here for you all my life.
What do you think this means, Lady Bracknell?
I dare not even suspect Dr. Chasuble. Indeed, in families of higher positions, strange coincidences like this are hardly a matter of concern.
Uncle Jack seems strangely agitated.
Your guardian has a very emotional nature.
I dislike this noise. It sounds as though we were having an argument. I dislike arguments of any kind. They are often vulgar and often convincing.
It has stopped now.
I wish he would arrive at some conclusion.
This suspense is terrible. I do hope it will last.
Is this the handbag, Miss Prism? Examine it carefully before you speak. The matter of more than one's happiness depends on your answer.
It seems to be mine. Yes. Here is the injury received during the upsetting of a Gower Street omnibus in younger and happier days. Here is the stain on the lining caused by the explosion of a temperance beverage, an incident that occurred at Leamington. And here, on the lock, are my initials. I had forgotten that in an extravagant mood I had them placed there. The bag is undoubtedly mine. I'm so delighted to have it so unexpectedly restored to me. It has been a great inconvenience being without it all these years.
More is restored to you than the handbag, Miss Prism. I was the baby you placed in it.
You?
Yes. Mother!
Mr. Worthing, I'm unmarried.
Unmarried? I don't doubt that is a serious blow, but can an act of folly wipe out an act of repentance? Why should there be one law for men and another of women? And who can cast a stone against one who has suffered? Mother, I forgive you.
Mr. Worthing, there is some error. There is the lady who can tell you who you really are.
Lady Bracknell, I hate to seem inquisitive, but would you kindly inform me who I am?
I'm afraid the news I have to give you will not altogether please you. You are the son of my poor sister, Mrs. Moncrief, and consequently, Algernon's elder brother.
Algy's elder brother? Then I have a brother after all. I always said I had a brother. Cecily, how could you ever doubted that I had a brother? Dr. Chasuble, my unfortunate brother. Miss Prism, my unfortunate brother. Gwendolyn, my unfortunate brother. Oh, you young scoundrel! You'll have to treat me with more respect from now on. You've never behaved to me like a brother your whole life.
Well, not until today, old boy, I admit. I did my best, however, though. I was out of practice.
My own one. But what own are you? What is your Christian name now that you've become someone else?
Good heavens! I'd quite forgotten about the fact. Your decision on the subject is irrevocable, I suppose.
I never changed, except in my affections.
What a noble nature you have, Gwendolyn.
Then the question had better be cleared up at once. Aunt Augusta, at the time Miss Prism left me in the handbag, had I been christened already?
Every luxury money could buy, including christening, had been lavished upon you by your fond and doting parents.
Then I was christened. That is settled. Now what name was I given? Let me know the worst.
Being the eldest son, you were naturally christened after your father.
And my father's Christian name was...
I cannot at the present moment recall what the general's Christian name was, but I know undoubtedly that he had one. Your father was eccentric, I admit, but only in later years, and that was due to the Indian climate and marriage and indigestion and other things.
Algy, can you recollect what your father's Christian name was?
My dear fellow, weren't you on speaking terms? He died before I was a year old.
Wait! I remember now that the general's Christian name was Earnest. I knew there was a particular reason for me disliking the name.
Earnest, my own Earnest. I thought from the first that you could have no other name.
Gwendolyn, it's a terrible thing for a man to find out suddenly. His entire life he's been speaking nothing but the truth. Can you ever forgive me?
I can, for I feel that you are sure to change.
Letitia.
Frederick at last.
Cecily, at last.
Gwendolyn, at last.
My nephew, you seem to be displaying signs of triviality.
On the contrary, Aunt Augusta, I finally realized for the first time in my life the vital importance of being earnest.